going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Vault. My name is Money, and I'm just reviewing every single time that I have been charged for a Netflix subscription. Now, there's one thing that I'm most well known for. It's for having a Netflix subscription that I haven't watched in 4 years. Now, it's kind of sad because subscription services have kind of ingrained themselves into our society, but I will be damned if I get charged unnecessarily for one more. I didn't cancel this month's box. Throughout Funko's history, they have done several different types of subscription boxes. What's a subscription box? Well, you pay every other month to receive a rectangle with random stuff inside of it. The items are typically a mystery unless you use any form of social media, in which case the contents are always spoiled weeks, sometimes even months before they even ship. You have the Star Wars Smuggler's Bounty, the DC Legion of Collectors, Disney Treasures, and the topic of today's video, Marvel Collector Core, which is pronounced core, not corpse, by the way. To ensure that everybody knows how to properly pronounce this thing, here's a montage of me from my first ever YouTube video on this channel, mispronouncing it. Hey guys, what's up? Money's Funko Pops here, and today I'm going to be unboxing the Marvel Collector's Corpse. The Collector's Corpse. Marvel Collector's Corpse. What a fucking idiot. The Marvel Collector Core box began in April of 2015 and was originally offered through Funko's website directly. The first ever MCC box was based on the film Avengers Age of Ultron. This box included one of 4 random t-shirt designs and a Hulkbuster pop. Random t-shirt designs is actually a pretty neat idea. It adds a level of personality to the boxes that I think they desperately need in today's collecting landscape, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The rest of 2015's boxes went on to feature Ant-Man, Secret Wars, Villains, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I think that this first year came out swinging. It capitalized on the 3 MCU films that came out that year, and then it also showed some love to the comics in the form of the Secret Wars and Villains boxes. These pops definitely didn't age well though. The Hulkbuster would go on to be replaced by a much more detailed one in the Infinity War Commons. Zombie Morbius will be repurposed for Emerald City Comic Con 2021, and I mean, this Ant-Man mold is it's just not great. I mean, granted, neither is the Ant-Man and the Wasp one, but maybe one day they'll be able to properly contain all of Paul Rudd's spunk. Also, did the Guardians of the Galaxy box not come with a huge spotlight item? If I opened up this box, I would have been pissed. Well, I would have been warm at least, but I definitely would have been pissed. Now, I'd argue that a lot of these older pops just have not aged well, and that's kind of chalked up to Funko only doing pops in that very generic blocky Freddy Funko pose. Looking back at products that were made in 2014 to 2016, a majority of them were in this very generic pose with the arms down at the sides. So I guess we really can't critique these boxes on that because that was the style for the era. However, it definitely has not aged well, and it's kind of cringy to look back on. Kind of like a 24-year-old mispronouncing core or having spent 6 figures on a Netflix subscription. 2016 rolled around with boxes based on Deadpool, Captain America Civil War, Women of Power, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and then a very generic X-Men box. This is another pretty solid year with the MCU films as anchor points, but I think we really need to talk about the Women of Power box. When you think of powerful women superheroes, who do you think of? Captain Marvel, Gamora, Hela? For Funko, there's no other powerful female superhero like Squirrel Girl. I mean, it does come with a little squirrel inside of the box. I mean, how fucking cute is this little thing? Then we move on to 2017, Superhero Showdowns, Guardians Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, First Appearance Avengers, Thor Ragnarok, and then simply Hulk. I mean, at least this year the Guardians of the Galaxy box included a pop this time, instead of a scarf and salt and pepper shaker combo. Outside of the Hulk box, I think that the 2017 rotation was pretty strong. The First Appearance box was so popular that it barely stayed in stock, and years after its release, the pops from the Ragnarok box are selling on the secondary market for such high prices it's insane. Now, 2017 was only 2 years into the box's run, but it really felt that Funko hit their stride and was ready to tackle 2018 full force. However, 2018 ended up being the year that Funko subscription boxes were changed forever. Changed how? Well, they were all canceled. Well, I guess that sums up this video on the history of the Marvel Collector Core. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Another one shipped? Funko issued this statement saying that all of their subscription boxes were going to be canceled later on in that year. And for the MCC box in particular, the already announced Infinity War box would be the last one that we would see. Shortly after that box was released, Funko released another statement saying that certain retailers would be stepping in and picking up most of these boxes. The poor Legion of Collectors box would end up being canceled altogether, probably because they kept putting dumb shit inside of them that nobody would want. Now it begs the question, was this just a fake cancellation intended to drive up hype on the 3 properties with ties to Disney? It could be true. Part of me feels that Funko sales were down and they didn't want to keep selling them on their website, so they just decided to outsource them to different retailers. After this faux cancellation, Disney Treasures went to Hot Topic, and the MCC and Smuggler's Bounty boxes became Amazon exclusives. As mentioned, that DC box was canceled altogether, but it wouldn't be the only one 6 feet under. Disney Treasures and Smuggler's Bounty would also end up getting canceled 2 years later, releasing their last boxes in 2019. But for Marvel, it would be the Lonely Survivor, and to this day is still the only subscription box to survive. The first box to come out after the Amazon transition was a Deadpool box. The other 2 boxes in 2018 were based on Venom and the 10th anniversary of Marvel Studios, which came with a bunch of gold shit and an Iron Man vs. Whiplash movie moment.
First of all, the 10-year anniversary is the tin anniversary, not the gold anniversary. And second of all, I don't have a second of all.
Now we move on to our first full year of the Amazon deal. In order, the 2019 boxes were themed after X-Men, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, Marvel 80th Anniversary, and Marvel Holiday. 2019 also began the trend of 2 pops in every box, and so far, every box that has followed the Captain Marvel box has had at least 2 pops inside of it. Yes, there were a few boxes that came out before this that included 2 pops, but it wasn't a concrete thing. This shift is important to note because it's a big turning point in the contents of these boxes. Up until the Captain Marvel box, there were a lot of non-pop products inside of these boxes. Looking back at the boxes that we've already discussed, we've seen hand warmers, Pop Pez, rock candy, mystery minis, and even pop mugs. The Captain Marvel box begins this trend of the contents being somewhat uniform. 2 pops, a shirt, a sticker, and like 1 or 2 small tchotchke items such as a small bag, a shot glass, or an extra sticker, rather than another Funko line.
Although the boxes have become formulaic and predictable, it does, in my opinion, make that $30 price point worth it. I mean, spending $30 on 2 pops, a t-shirt, and a few other items is actually not that bad when you break it down. Previously, you'd be spending $30 on 1 pop, a t-shirt, and then a couple shot glasses, and that was it. It's kind of like spending $14 a month on a Netflix subscription just to watch Arrested Development once every 4 months. And I own the entire show on DVD. What am I doing?
We then move on to the 2020 lineup: Fantastic Four, The Infinity Saga, Black Widow, X-Men 20th Anniversary, Marvel Zombies, and the Infinity Saga end credits scenes. This year was most likely intended to go a different way, as Internals was meant to be the November box, but then was obviously delayed due to the movie being pushed back by over a year. The Black Widow box was probably too far along for Funko to push it back, so they just decided to say, fuck it, we don't know who Taskmaster is either. I'm not sure which box is the filler one here, because something had to obviously replace the Eternals box. What most likely happened was that the Eternals box was just removed from the rotation altogether, and the zombie and end credits scene boxes were just simply pushed up a slot each, as I doubt that Funko could throw together 2 solid boxes that quickly. Now, the 2020 lineup is, in my opinion, about 50-50. The Fantastic Four and Black Widow boxes are just 2 variants in each box, and I don't believe that the community liked the X-Men box that much. However, the zombie Red Skull is a beautiful figure, and the Star-Lord and Black Panther glow so well. And the best pop from 2020 goes to the Dusted Nick Fury, one of my favorites, and I think that the end credit scene box was so awesome. But if we look at all of the 2020 boxes, every single one of them includes a variant to some degree, and this ends up bleeding directly into our 2021 boxes so far: Lucha Libre, Deadpool 30th Birthday, and the Year of the Shield, which I'm redacting because it's not official yet. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
So here's the deal. The MCC boxes started off as exclusive collector items. You had the Hulkbuster, Squirrel Girl, and Zombie Morbius, which were for the first time Funko Pops only available in these boxes. Even some of the variants in 2016, like the Astral Plane Doctor Strange and the Cap vs. Tony moment, was an awesome scene from each respective MCU movie. However, as we have moved through the years, we've kind of just settled with, and it's just wasting everybody's time.
Let's take the Black Widow box as an example here, because the Lucha Libre box is just far too easy to shit on. The Black Widow box features Black Widow with a grappler hook and Red Guardian with an action figure. If we look at the Black Widow line, we've already got 2 common Black Widows and a Walmart one, as well as a common Red Guardian. Now granted, the Red Guardian is unmasked, but is this really an exclusive item worthy of being in a collector's box? The Fantastic Four box is just as guilty because it's just literally 2 variants with a few changes. They gave us the Glow Invisible Girl as a GameStop exclusive, so why not give us the Glow Human Torch to, like, I don't know, Target or something? This way the MCC slot can go to something cooler, like maybe a Nihilus or a Moloid to go along with the common Mole Man.
So think of it this way. If I'm spending $14 a month on a Netflix subscription, I expect a certain level of satisfaction from that service. The content that I enjoyed watching was Parks and Rec and The Office. Once those shows were removed from Netflix, why am I going to spend $14 a month on a service that I'm not getting what I want from it? The MCC boxes have slowly become just a place for Funko to dump variants as opposed to what it used to be. It used to be a service where Funko would put exclusive and awesome and sometimes even niche items inside of it for collectors to get. Now it's just become a place for Funko to say, okay, we need a box for January. Let's just dip the Human Torch in some glow-in-the-dark paint. The MCC boxes have become just a variant dump and a quick check for Funko.
I think some of the best MCC boxes only had about one pop item per box. In particular, I'm thinking of 3. The first is the 10-year MCC box. While the rest of the items are just gold painted shit, the Whiplash vs. Iron Man moment is what collectors' boxes should be about. There's never been a Whiplash pop, and it's a movie moment from their big fight at the end of the movie. What an absolute banger of an item. The second box that I think they did right is the second Deadpool box with the Unicorn Deadpool. If there's one thing that Deadpool fans love, it's Deadpool writing stuff. So Deadpool riding on a unicorn is a smash hit for good reason. Lastly, the Captain America Civil War box may have been variants on both characters, but it's from a huge fight between both sides where Iron Man slams into Cap's shield. Like, what an iconic moment. The only other scene that I think could have been better was this one, but still, it's a good choice. You start to move into this formula of 2 items per box, however, and nearly 1 item in each box just feels like a throwaway. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule, but it just feels like Funko is throwing stuff into mystery boxes just for that fat check.
One aspect of the MCC boxes that a lot of fans enjoy are the t-shirts, and personally, I'm not a fan of pop t-shirts in general. In fact, this Fantastic Four one is the only one that I've kept, even though I've gotten almost every single MCC box since the beginning of the run. I understand that collectors like pop t-shirts, but for me, I'm just not going to walk around with a t-shirt that says Peter Tingle on it.
Okay, here's the deal, and this isn't a bit, this is a genuine question. I need to know who's picking the designs for these t-shirts. Some of them are cool, like the Fantastic Four one. It was actually my favorite part of the entire box, and I think that the mystery t-shirt idea from those first few boxes should be revived. Imagine for the Fantastic Four box if they did a t-shirt for each member of the Fantastic Four, and then even when the contents get spoiled early, the people getting the boxes still don't know which t-shirt they're gonna get. I don't know, maybe I just have a vendetta against them because no matter how many times I change my size to medium, it keeps defaulting to extra large. Your boy ain't an extra large. I'm 5'6" and can still fit into my elementary school graduation shirt. I literally haven't grown since I was 12. If I put on an extra large shirt, I'm swimming in it. You could fit 3 of me in an extra large cotton t-shirt.
Collector boxes are great, don't get me wrong. I too enjoy the mystery of opening up a subscription box and not knowing what's inside of it, although social media does ruin almost every single one of these boxes months before they arrive at my front door. It's just kind of sad to see how the Marvel Collector Core box has gone from being a place that used to be full of exclusive items that collectors actually wanted to get, to a place that Funko is just throwing metallic, glow, and light up variants inside of. And if Smuggler's Bounty, Legion of Collectors, and Disney Treasures is any scale to judge by, we may see the MCC box get canceled as early as this year, because if Funko is canceling all their subscription boxes, why would they just keep one hanging around? I personally hope that the MCC box does stick around, but they really have to ramp it up and put in some more effort into it. Otherwise, they're going to see collectors start dipping out, and it's going to be a sad day if the box gets canceled because collectors just aren't interested in it anymore. But if you excuse me, I have a score to settle with Netflix, as you can tell, because I will not be taken advantage of by any more subscription services. You can... Sorry. Shit! I didn't cancel HelloFresh this month.